In this video, we're going to be replacing the input shaft oil seal on this differentials. This is freightliner cascadia, but this basically works on all the trucks. So we're going to be replacing the seal right here. As you can see, it's a little wet. It's leaking oil from here. And we're also replacing this one here, the output, and the one over here too. As you can see, this one is leaking too, this input oil seal. So we're going to be doing this one step by step, and with the ones in the back, it's basically the same thing, but if there's a difference, we will record it too. So the first thing you want to do is put some WD-40 on all the bolts and nuts. Just so we can get easier to remove them. So first, we're gonna be removing these 4 bolts. This 4 bolts, you have 2 here and 2 on the bottom, and we're gonna be using a 1/2-inch socket. This one's 12 points, and you're gonna need it to be 4 inches long. So now we're just gonna use the socket without the extension. That way it's stronger because it has Loctite in the bolts. So now we're gonna hit it with this hammer so we can take off the U-joints. So this drive shaft is about to come off, so it's very heavy. So we tied it right here to the truck with this strap and tied to the shaft. So now we're just gonna hit it. As you can see, it's already separated from the yoke. So now that the shaft is separated, we're gonna remove the strap and we're just gonna bring it down on to the floor. Just make sure you're very careful. This thing is very heavy. So now it's on the floor. Now we're gonna be removing this nut right here, and that one takes a 2-inch 3/16 socket. So now we're gonna spray some WD-40, and we're gonna try to take off that yoke with the hammer. So there it goes, it's off now, and here you can see the seal. So we're gonna go ahead and remove it. As you can see, it's leaking from there. So now we're gonna remove the seal, and we're gonna be using one of these tools, this type of hooks. This is a part number in case you want to get one of these, and we're gonna be using the slide hammer. So we're gonna clean the area using gasoline. So we're gonna cover the spine with this towel, just so no dust can get in there. And we're also gonna sand this lip. We're gonna be using this type of sandpaper. This is a P120 grit. So we're gonna clean the yoke. We're gonna be using gasoline. So here we have the yoke already clean. As you can see, it has some wear right here. We're still gonna use this yoke. It's up to you if you want to replace it, if you want to put a brand new one. In this case, we're just gonna use this same one. This is the seal we're gonna be putting in, and this is the part number for this type of differential. So when you go to the dealer, just give them your VIN and they'll get you the right seal. I went to the dealer a little bit ago and they had given me the wrong seal, so I had to go back and get the right one. In this truck, the differentials are Mercedes, so just make sure you get the right seals. So the way we are gonna drive this seal into the differential is by using the socket. They do sell a special tool to drive it in, but since we don't have it, we're gonna be using this type of socket, and this is a 4-inch socket. As you can see, if it's good, so we're just gonna drive it in using this one. So I'll show you right now. So we're gonna put some silicone around the lip of the seal. This is optional. We just like putting silicone just to get a better seal. You don't have to put a lot. So now we're just gonna go ahead and put it in. And we're just gonna hit it around with the hammer. So right there, the seal is in. As you can hear the sound, it makes a different sound when the seal already sat in place. And we're just gonna clean the extra silicone. So we're getting ready to drive in the yoke. So we're gonna clean the washers. We use starting fluid to clean them. And we're also gonna clean the nut. We're gonna be using the same nut. It's recommended if you get a new one, and if you are gonna use the old one, just make sure you put some Loctite. This is a type of Loctite we're gonna be using. We're gonna put some oil around the yoke so it can drive in easier. The seal already has some grease, but we're just gonna add some oil just to make it easier. So the yoke is now in place. So now we're gonna put in the washer and the nut. So now we're gonna tighten the nut. We are using this bar to hold the yoke in place so that it won't turn, because we have it disconnected from the output shaft, so we don't want the yoke to start spinning. There's some specifications for this nut, but I don't know them right now. If you want to check for the specifications on how to torque it. Now we're gonna tie it with this impact gun. So now we're gonna bring the drive shaft back in place. So we're just gonna bring the shaft up and put the 4 bolts back. So we're gonna put some Loctite on the bolts. So we just align the U-joints using a hammer. We have some Loctite on that one too. So always start to put in the bolts by hand, and then you can start using your impact. So the front input seal is completed. So now I'm just gonna show you guys the differences between the input rear and also the output. So this is the rear input shaft. We're also gonna fix the seal on this one. And one difference I found is that it has a special nut, and it comes with a, as you can see right here, it has a lock in there. So we're gonna have to remove that lock. The type of socket that you're gonna need is one of these. I found this one at the dealer. I paid around $70. I'll leave the link in the description. So we're gonna go ahead and remove this nut. We removed that lock already, so now we're gonna go ahead and remove that nut. So that nut is off already. So now we're gonna bring out the yoke using a hammer. So we already removed the rear seal. The way we remove it is by using this foot crow, and we just slide it in there and pull the seal out, something like that. So we are getting ready to put the new seal. This is the seal that's going into this one. This is the part number, and again, this is a Mercedes differential, so make sure you have the right seals. We already cleaned the yoke. Before you put in your seal, make sure you clean the area. You want to sand it, that way the seal will slide in easier. So we're gonna put some silicone around the lip. So now we're gonna go ahead and put the seal in. We're gonna use a socket to drive the seal in, and we're gonna hit the socket with a hammer. So here we finish installing the seal. Make sure you leave the seal flush to the differential, to the edge of the differential. This differential doesn't have a stopper, so if you keep hitting the seal, it'll keep going in, but this one needs to be flushed. The differential in the front does have a stopper, so it'll stop the seal from going in, but on this one you need to make sure you don't over hit the seal so that it doesn't go in too much. So make sure you leave it flushed. The way we put it in, we were using this and hitting it with a hammer, and little by little we brought it in. So this is the way it looks. So now we're gonna bring in the yoke. And on this one we're gonna hit it with a hammer. We're gonna put a socket. This is the size, 2 inches and 1/8, and we're just gonna put it in the center, and the yoke will go in straight. So now it's ready. Now we're gonna put in the nut. We're gonna be using the old one. If you want to put a new one, it'll be better. But since we're using the same one, we're gonna put some Loctite. This is the type of Loctite that we use. So first, you can start putting in the nut by hand so that the thread goes straight, and then you can start using your impact. So now it's ready. Now we're just gonna put the safety lock back using a puncher. So there it goes. So now we're gonna bring in the drive shaft. So now we're gonna bring in the drive shaft. You just have to align it to the U joints. We aligned the drive shaft to U joints. Now we're gonna put in the 4 bolts. We're gonna put some Loctite. So the drive shaft is ready on this side. So now we're gonna do the output shaft. You just have to align it. And put the 4 bolts. So you just have to align it and hit it with a hammer just so you can put it in. So again, we're gonna put some Loctite and put the 4 bolts back in. So all 4 bolts are in. So this seal is also completed, and the one in the input shaft, and also the one on the input drive shaft. So thanks for watching.